Picture the ultimate spy, navigating a wet European alleyway, evading capture, behind the wheel of a silver Aston Martin. For decades, this car has served as the global shorthand for lethal British sophistication. But step out of the cinema and look at the boardroom. For most of its existence, Aston Martin was drowning in debt. The company's century-long history is a cycle of near ruin, repeated bankruptcies, and constant, chaotic ownership changes. How does a manufacturer battling instability engineer the world's most enduring symbol of luxury and precision? The cinematic fantasy of the secret agent actively subsidized the engineering firm, providing the capital and prestige required to keep the assembly lines moving. The reality of Aston Martin started entirely focused on mechanics. In 1913, founders Lionel Martin and Robert Bamford paired Martin's surname with his recent racing victory at the Aston Clinton Hill Climb. Look at this vintage race car at the Brooklyn circuit. Aston Martin poured its resources into raw speed and track performance, earning a reputation for reliability in small, specialized batches. Engineering breakthroughs like the 1939 Atom prototype, with its early space-frame chassis, could not guarantee financial stability. The company bled money and changed hands repeatedly. Stability finally arrived in 1947, when industrialist Sir David Brown acquired the struggling firm. Pictured here leaning against one of his early models, Brown introduced the legendary DB lineage of cars, launching what is considered the brand's golden age. Brown engineered a brilliant Grand Tour that balanced high-speed performance with luxury. Yet, to ensure the factory doors stayed open, the cars required a narrative far larger than their engine specs. That narrative originated in the pages of an Ian Fleming novel. In the 1959 book Goldfinger, James Bond signs out an Aston Martin DB Mark III from the MI6 carpool. When the film entered production in 1964, producers wanted the newest hardware. Aston Martin handed over this exact DB5 prototype with the BMT 216A plate. Filmmakers then weaponized it with machine guns, revolving plates, and an ejector seat, forging a lethal persona. That single film appearance established the DB5 as a global cultural icon. Aston Martin was suddenly synonymous with international espionage. The timing of the DB5's rise to icon status was critical. This timeline tracks the ownership of Aston Martin following David Brown's departure in 1972. The brand immediately plunged back into financial volatility, bouncing between various investment consortia. During these turbulent decades, real-world cash reserves depleted. However, the enduring James Bond halo effect kept the public perception of the brand high. Investors kept stepping in because the car still carried the invincible aura of 007. That persistent prestige eventually attracted the Ford Motor Company, who took full ownership by 1991. Look at this DB7 Vantage on display. Ford modernized Aston Martin's entire manufacturing process, using the DB7 to bring industrial stability to the factory floors. All the while, the cinematic partnership held firm. Even through frequent ownership changes, the franchise reliably showcased new models, from the V8 Vantage equipped with winterized gadgets to the adaptive camouflage of the V12 Vanquish. A fictional spy operated as the ultimate corporate anchor. The films protected the brand's luxury status until the factory capabilities could actually catch up. Today, Aston Martin operates on entirely different footing. Following a 2007 buyout from Ford, the company entered a strategic partnership with the Mercedes-Benz Group, gaining vital access to high-performance engines and modern technology. They also realized they needed to expand beyond traditional sports cars to survive. This is the Aston Martin DBX. By entering the luxury SUV market, the company secured a profitable vehicle line to fund its core operations. Since 2020, the man pictured here, Canadian billionaire Lawrence Stroll, has injected fresh capital and leadership into the firm, driving a high-profile return to Formula One racing. After a century of teetering on the edge of collapse, Aston Martin possesses the global infrastructure, technology, and capital required to sustain the invincible image it projects on the screen. Why did this specific partnership survive recessions and endless corporate buyouts? The collaboration endures because both the carmaker and the film franchise share identical DNA. They both represent a distinct vision of British identity: classic, high performance, and resilient. Beyond surviving a century of corporate chaos, Aston Martin successfully weaponized a cinematic fantasy to build a real-world automotive empire.